So why is the cosmological argument so great? Well, is it? Who knows? Let's find out. You see, the cosmological argument came into existence, therefore God. Well, anyway, let's look at the cosmological argument. Basically, it has a lot of variations that are very different, but it all comes down to something along the lines of, well, everything that comes into existence or everything that exists has a cause. Well, the universe exists, / the universe came into existence, and therefore the universe had a cause. And that cause is God. Therefore God. Quite simple. And usually people don't really have a problem with saying that, well, the universe probably had a cause, because it seems that with causality it seems quite logical that the universe coming to existence kind of requires some cause. Now the big question is, what is that cause? And that's quite the part which is debated. Usually people don't really have to debate with, oh, did the universe come into existence? Well, I mean, it seems that it came into existence, otherwise it wouldn't be 13 billion years old now, would it? Because that kind of means that there was a starting point, now doesn't it? You can't really say that, well, I'm 72 years old, but you know, I didn't have a beginning. Well, if you can measure this time that you've been in existence, that means there was a time where you weren't in existence, because it is not eternal. And so the universe probably did have some cause. And so the question is, what is that cause? Is that cause all powerful, all knowing, all loving? Wow! That seems like a God. But what would that require? What would be the evidence that this cause for the universe is such a being? And well, what could the cause for the universe just be in general? I mean, if we think that, you know, most likely something had to come, in a sense, out of nothing. I mean, the universe came out of a singularity. That singularity had to came from something. It doesn't seem like the singularity was eternal. And well, if you want to take it a bit back and you want to use some more theoretical science that is not that proven yet, and well, it's being debated in science whether there was anything before the Big Bang, or if the Big Bang was the beginning of absolutely everything, or maybe there was some cosmic inflation before. But you know, then we can just ask, well, what caused the cosmic inflation, for example? So there always seems to be some first cause, and then what is that first cause? Well, I think there's a bit of evidence that we can just look at in our lives. If we think about anything that comes into existence, it requires intelligence. Now, you might be thinking, what is, how? What do you mean? Please explain. And so I will do. Think about an atom. It doesn't really change now, doesn't it? So nothing in this world necessarily changes or comes into existence. It just, the atoms kind of change their places, you know, electrons move around and so on, but nothing really comes into existence. And so that doesn't require intelligence, changing things around. That happens in nature. But the things that do actually come into existence are things like stories, fantasy books that we create, these worlds within our world, within our mind. These ideas are created. They are not simply atoms exchanging positions. They are actually created. They are actually, in a sense, new things that come into existence with ideas and so on. And so we have these abstract things that can come into existence, and they always require intelligence. You cannot get these things in nature. You cannot get them without intelligence. And so with induction, it would seem likely that if the universe came into existence, that would also require some intelligence. Now, of course, some atheists and agnostics might say that, well, no, we cannot do that, we cannot use induction. Induction is wrong. But it's not. Because the same way that we use induction that, hey, gravity is gonna work tomorrow. I mean, we have no absolute proof that gravity is gonna work tomorrow, but it's gonna because of induction. Or, well, it's not gonna work because of induction, but we believe that it's gonna work because of induction. And so we use induction all the time. And, well, you probably believe that gravity is gonna work tomorrow because even you use induction in your life. And the same way we can use induction for anything to come into existence, it seems, and with all our current knowledge, it requires intelligence. So if the universe came into existence, it has to have a cause, and the cause has to have an intelligence. And so it seems like there being some deity, some god, some being that caused the universe, because once again it requires intelligence. It seems like that is the logical conclusion. Now, of course, you can say that that's an appeal to ignorance, but it's not. Once again, it's induction. We use it all the time. And if you are to say that, well, that's an argument from ignorance, that is a special pleading fallacy. Because you're specially pleading that the universe didn't require intelligence, but everything else that comes into existence requires intelligence. You're specially believing that the universe is somehow different than everything else. Yet we have no evidence for that. All the evidence that we have points out that anything that comes into existence requires intelligence. Tables don't come into existence because they're just the same wood and atoms that already existed, just placed differently. But the idea of a table comes into existence, and that required intelligence. And so the natural world cannot create these ideas. It is always in our minds. It is always requiring of that intelligence. And, well, once again, the universe came into existence. It requires a cause. That cause requires an intelligence. Because for something to come into existence, it requires intelligence. And so it seems that God is a very likely option. It seems to be the most probable answer with our induction and current knowledge. And so, the cosmic argument might be pretty damn great. It's pretty damn convincing, at least to me. But what about you? Is this complete baloney? Am I baffling you? Am I making a lasagna? Or did I say something smart? Who knows? But anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.